I have a project I have been working on, and it starts with this right here. This is a plastic tube. It's a lens cover, safety lens cover for T5 light bulbs. 4-foot fluorescent light bulbs that go in the ceiling. You see them a lot in stores. If you look up in stores, you'll see these guys all the time. But I'm using this protective cover for a project. So I have measured it, and this is where I need to cut. So I am just going to simply unsafely cut towards me with a utility knife, and we're going to go all the way around. And this utility knife has been sitting on my truck dash for a while. Boy, it's hot. Okay, let me finish cutting this. I've cut this down to a manageable size. It's about 2 feet now. This right here, your light bulb essentially just slides in the end, and you have these covers. And this cover just slides on. Not for me, but this is the cut end, so it's a little rougher. But that slides on, and we'll see if we can look at that. See there's little holes right there, and we're gonna turn this into a light bar, and our wiring is gonna go in here. That is what we're gonna do. Okay, let's set this to the side. You've got all different kinds of lighting you can use. We're all doing LED here. Okay, this, you guys have probably seen these. These come on a nice little spool from Amazon, and then this is what happens when I get a hold of it. It just turns into mush. Anywho, what you have here, one end, there's your positive, there's your minus. You can take that and you can run this through the tube. Basically what we're doing is the rope lights that you can buy at the store that are already in like a little plastic deal. This is something similar to that, except for it's customizable. We can make our own size, yada yada, blah blah blah. Anywho, you slide this all the way to the end, and then your wires will come out here, and then you can put a switch, tie into whatever, all those good fun things. But we are not, this is a 12 volt, we're not using 12 volt, we're actually running this on a 24 volt system, so we're not going to use that. Throw that to the side. Here is another option. These are actually also 12 volt, but designed to be waterproof. This came out of a sign that I disposed of. Let's see if we come across here. And this, again, if you wanted to use something of this nature, it would slide in the tubes. These will go in. You just feed them all the way through, and then your wires, again, will come out here. This is not what we're using, because that's 12 volt. This is what we are going to use. This right here. Again, came out of a sign. I have a whole bunch of this, basically leftover scraps. See if we can look at this here. Input 24 volt. That is what we need, because I am running a 24 volt battery, 24 volt electrical system, and if I don't have to step down to 12 volt, then I'm saving the step down loss on the voltage. I can just run this straight 24, and it will be the most efficient. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut a couple pieces, because these are all wired together. We are going to cut a couple pieces and feed them through. So for this, I only want 2 pieces, because I'm running a roughly 24-inch project on this. What you will see where they join together, the factory joints here, if you can focus in on that. These are unprotected solder, so when they're in the tube, if something happened and they touched, you could accidentally shorten that out, which would be bad. So we are going to wrap that in electrical tape to insulate it. Here we are, insulated. It's crude, but this is for the functionality for what I'm using this for. This is just for exterior storage lighting. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different exterior bins or doors or compartments, whatever you want to call them. And I want to have permanent lighting in there, but I want to have something that is at least moisture resistant to some degree. So that is what I'm working on. So these don't have to be fancy, because that is all this is for. I'm going to feed the tube. And there's nothing special to this. You're just running it through. And I've taken the cap off of this end. So now we'll come back with the cap. And should be able to push these through. There's one. This can be a little bit tedious. If these were a little longer leads, this would have gone in easier. But that's okay. We'll sort it out in a second. I've got that. And what I did is I fished them through and I put a little piece of electrical tape there just to hold that down. So now we're going to make this connection. That's locked down. And then we'll come to the other end. You see we're pretty much right where we want to be. We will fish this in here. Put the cap on the other side. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of glue right there. We're going to put a little bit of glue right here to make this seam waterproof. And on this end, we will seal this here where they come together, and we will also seal that once this is done. For now, we have our positive and negative wires sticking out the end just like we want them to. So here is just a matter of figuring out what kind of switch we want to put in, how we want to turn them on and off. Do we want to direct wire it? Do we want to put just disconnects where we can plug in? You could make one of these and then have multiple plug-in ports, and you could move it around to different places. You could put this on, say, 10, 12-foot wire, and you could have this as an outside light that you plug in somewhere and then just drag outside, put under your porch, whatever. It's a lot of different options. You could use something like this as a function as a flashlight if you need to, let's say you needed to work on your vehicle, some extra lighting, work under the vehicle. This would run off. You could run something like this. I mean, if it was a 12 volt, you could run it off a house battery, vehicle battery, whatever your thing is. It's just it can basically be used as a lighting or flashlight, something like that. You know, if you're anything like me, when you need a flashlight, your batteries are always dead. So just a lot of different options for these. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the ends of this wired so we can play with it. And we're magically wired. And I'm lying to you. This is one I've already done. It's a 4-footer that goes all the way down. That's a 4-foot guy. This is really crude. A lot of electrical tape coming through. We've got a basically an inline off and on switch right here. And there's a plug-in where we can, what's it, XT60. This here, I can put a plug for this wherever I want, and I can move this whole thing around, plug it in here, front of the van, back of the van, whatever, and it's got an on-off switch and plug in. So anywhere I want to put the male version of the XT60, I can use this to plug it in. Now, I've actually made 3 of these, and I've got 2 more to go. So the pieces I'm showing you with the smaller ones are for other areas. For the simplicity of this, I'm just grabbing different ones that I've already done and showing them at different stages because it makes the video easier on me, in my opinion. Now we will go outside and look at where one of these are in actual usable application. Here we are outside. This is my side garage. You've probably seen it before if you've watched any of my other videos. We're going to go in here. Essentially, I've got propane generator, storage bins, and somewhere up under here, there's a water tank in there. Here's my gravity fill for that. Water, all the good times. But what we're going to look at is, let's say you want to see something all the way back there where it's dark. we can turn a light on, light off, light on. Obviously this is more practical in the dark, and this is being filmed during daytime, but what we have, we go through all this mess, is you'll see connectors here, and here's a switch right here. And the bar, the light bar, goes all the way across. I don't know how well this is going to show, because I obviously cannot see it. Where are we at? There we are. This runs all the way back and forth. See if we can find the switch right here, and off, on. And this is just mounted on with some little conduit holders here, and I've got some spare wire spooled into there. But point is, here there's some other crazy wires. I've also got some 12 volt floating around here somewhere. Is that this whole deal, off, on, it lights everything up. Okay, hope someone found that interesting. I also have this hatch, which is going to have a light in it, and if we kind of roam around, try not to make a mess of everything. There's another hatch. I don't know if I'm going to put a light in there, because I've basically closed that off. There isn't a whole lot to that. This goes like an inch deep, and there's a piece of wood. Nothing super special there. Come around, and there's another one. We will be lighting that up after a while. Not yet. And then we come around passenger side. Here is another hatch right by the passenger door, and we'll be lighting that up as well. That is the project for today, and we'll talk to you guys next time.